Hello there. Welcome to this episode of Just the Dis. My name is Brian, and we talk about Blu-rays here. And I don't know if this is a new thing or not, but I was putting together a stack of stuff. Basically, for Pure Cinema, Alric and I do a lot of discoveries, a lot of episodes that are focused on seeing movies we've never seen for the first time. And sometimes it's not about high quality as much as it's about something interesting, something that pops, something that you can recommend to people for whatever reason. And so sometimes there's a lot of crazy genre stuff, horror films, action films, that kind of thing that kind of goes into those episodes of the podcast. And I'll just start putting together piles of stuff. And sometimes I'll put them in boxes so that I can keep track of, like, okay, this is for this episode. You know, it gets difficult when you're sometimes working on multiple episodes at the same time to keep track of things. So sometimes I'll label the box and say, okay, this is for Discoveries, you know? And so when I'm feeling like watching a new film for a Discoveries episode, I'll go to that box. And so I started putting together this pile of stuff. And so I want to call this this new series, maybe, random stuff. I don't know what else to call it, because this is some pretty random stuff. So I'm just going to go through this pile that I'm looking at right now that, you know, may or may not end up being stuff that I watch for a Discoveries episode of Pure Cinema. We'll see. But it comes from, like, all over the place in my collection, you know. A lot of it from my Code Red section. Code Red is actually, especially discs I purchased years ago, a section that I go to fill in, like, that last spot on a Discoveries list. We usually do 5 films because on Pure Cinema, which just means we're not going to do top 5. We're going to do 5 films that we want to talk about for whatever reason. Just because we'd hate to be making a top 5. It's just, you don't want to be definitive. That's hard. Then people can get upset with you because they can say, well, that you clearly left off X, Y, or Z. Whereas if you say 5 films because, you're just like, for whatever reason, like, nobody can say they disagree with your choice, really, because there's no reason for it. You know what I mean? So anyway, a lot of weird stuff here that, you know, could end up filling the 5th spot on a list at some point. So let me get into this here, okay? The first one on this list, this stack, is called The Violent Breed. This is a recent release from Code Red, and it is from 1984. It is a Fernando De Leo film. He of some really great Italian genre films. In fact, I have both of his collections down here. This is a good one. These are from Raro Video. Caliber 9, The Italian Connection. Holy smokes. One of the best chase scenes ever in a movie. And it's mostly a foot chase, or it starts as a car chase and becomes a foot chase, and includes a guy headbutting a windshield. And anyway, De Leo is great. Oh, The Boss is excellent as well. Henry Silva movie, really good. Anyway, De Leo, there's a couple different Raro sets of his films, and I do recommend checking those out because they're really good Italian gangster movies and things like that. So this is looks like more like a war movie to me. I don't know anything about it, so we'll have to just kind of have a look. Danger and adventure are the business of the violent breed in this explosive action thriller from the maestro Fernando De Leo, director of Caliber 9, The Italian Connection, The Boss, Shoot First, Die Later, stone-faced CIA boss Kirk Cooper, Henry Silva, who worked with De Leo a lot, gets word of a renegade American working the world's richest drug source, the Golden Triangle. It's a billion-dollar business with mafia connections on one side and a Russian arms deal on the other, and it must be stopped. He sends Vietnam vet Mike Martin, Harrison Muller, into the jungles of Southeast Asia to eliminate the tough-as-nails kingpin Polo, Woody Strode. I also love that Woody Strode got involved in Italian cinema. And for those that like dig Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Henry Silva is very much the kind of actor that Rick Dalton is sort of in the vein of. I mean, at least in terms of, I mean, it's different because Dalton's a TV actor or whatever. But in terms of the guy that had a good career in the United States and then went over to Italy and just went nuts and made a bunch of Italian films, Silva is one of the guys to do that. Especially in the 70s. That was his period, really. Anyway, so Woody Strode's the Kingpin. Mike Martin is the only one man, and he's against an army of cutthroats in The Violent Breed, a.k.a. Raza Violenta. Also starring Carol Andre, Your Hunter from the Future. Nice. Luigini Racci with a rousing score by Paolo Rusticelli. So, I don't know, Fernando De Leo. I mean, 84 sounds a little late, but you never know. It could be interesting. So, that's a recent one from Code Red, The Violent Breed. And then I went into the old stuff. You know, stuff I bought from the, like, Code Red Big Cartel days, you know, way back. Necromancy, starring Orson Welles. This one looks pretty kooky. A wicked necromancer, Orson Welles, controls an entire town, forcing its residents to make the special toys he needs to cast evil spells. This horror outing follows what happens when the dastardly wizard, hoping to resurrect his dead son by stealing the soul of another, sets his sights on the wife, Pamela Franklin, of his new employee. Also starring Michael Ontkean, Slapshot, and Lee Purcell. I like Lee Purcell a lot. This cult 70s shocker is finally available in its rare original cut as intended by director Burt I. Gordon. Empire of the Ants, The Mad Bomber, Village of the Giants, Mr. Big. So this is a Burt I. Gordon necromancer movie with Orson Welles. Again, this is the kind of stuff I look for sometimes when I'm trying to find random discoveries. Yeah, R-rated Burt I. Gordon. I'm very, you know, The Mad Bomber is definitely that, and that is a really interesting movie. So this is a brand new master and audio thoughts of Pamela Franklin. So, I don't know. Weird, but could be good. Another one from Code Red, Weekend Murders. This one from 1970, I wanted to say 77, but now I can't find it. 72. Oh, okay. Kind of a Agatha Christie kind of thing. It looks like a large English family meet at the family estate for the reading of their father's will. Each expects to be the recipient of a tidy sum, but apart from the local constable and a few other small awards to the help, the entire estate goes to the favorite daughter, Anna Moffo. No sooner than the will is read, murder is in full force. First the butler, then several members of the family. The local constable is joined by a Scotland Yard inspector who sees it as an open and shut case. However, it does not turn out that easily in this giallo directed by Michael Lupo and also starring Peter Baldwin, Evelyn Stewart, and Giacomo Rossi Stewart. Code Red is proud to present this exciting 70s thriller in its widescreen high-def master. Brand new 2015 master. That's how long ago I bought this thing. Audio commentary with star Peter Baldwin. On-camera interview with Peter Baldwin. 235-1. I don't know. Giallo could be. You know, I will eventually weed these down before I decide to really watch stuff, but this is kind of the process, you know. I need to put it together visually. That's why I like to use private letterbox lists when I'm figuring out, you know, a podcast list for a show. Like, I'll have one section that's like, I'll call it the workbook, and I'll just throw anything I can think of into that. And then I'll clone that list, and I'll usually delete almost everything except, you know, I'll move the most likely candidates to the top of the list, and then I'll work off that and kind of, you know, rotate things out in and out of it. This is the more rudimentary version of the workbook section, you know. where I'm just throwing things together in a box and kind of looking at them and reading the backs and kind of going, okay, maybe that's, I don't know. Okay, this one, this is a DVD. Corey Feldman in Voodoo. I've heard, frankly, this movie is terrible. Interesting look on the back here. But I am intrigued because, there is something to a bonkers terrible movie. And I don't know that I haven't seen it, so I can't really say. But deep in the heart of Los Angeles is a secret so sinister and so evil that those who are witness to it will either lose themselves in its dark grasp or lose their lives fleeing from it. Andy Chadway, Corey Feldman, transfers to Wells College only to find himself snared in the dangerous web of a fraternity led by a voodoo priest. After a frenzied ritual initiation by undead zombies, Andy awakes to find the snake mark of the evil snake goddess Ezeli tattooed on his chest. Now it's up to Andy to escape from the black magic powers before his girlfriend becomes the next human sacrifice. I have no idea what to make of that. But yeah, somebody mentioned it a long time ago to me, and so I found a cheap Blu-ray of it. It's a collector's edition, but I don't see anything. There's no commentary, no interviews, anything. I think it's 4x3 probably too. Anyway, you never know. So that's Voodoo. Next we have Stone Cold Dead. This is a Kino release from a while ago with Richard Crenna, Paul Williams, Linda Sorensen, Belinda J. Montgomery. I love this shot of Crenna and a must-haired Paul Williams on the back. Sergeant Detective Boyd, Richard Crenna, has been assigned to a case with no ordinary circumstances. He is... with no ordinary circumstances? Okay. He is taunted by a sniper who selects only prostitutes as victims and baits the police with photographs of the victims at the exact moments of their deaths, along the faint trail through the city's main streets. Everybody is a suspect, from powerful dope dealer and pimp Julius Kurtz. Oh, he's a pimp. Nice. Paul Williams is a pimp in this movie. I'm into it. To the attractive Monica Page, Linda Sorensen, a spirited and classy hooker. Boyd enlists the help of a streetwise policewoman, Sandy McCauley, Belinda J. Montgomery, who goes undercover as Boyd and McCauley slowly piece together the few elusive clues and await the sniper lurking in the dark corners of the city. Based on the best-selling novel The Sin Sniper by Hugh Garner, Stone Cold Dead marks the stellar writing and directing debut of George Mendeluk, The Kidnapping of the President. Okay. Albert Watson co-stars in this unforgettable thriller with a shocking twist ending. Interview with George Mendeluk and an audio commentary by film historians Howard S. Berger and Nathaniel Thompson are included. So this came out a while ago. It's from 1979. I don't know. I'm on board for the Crenna and the Paul Williams pimp. Got me with that. So that's Stone Cold Dead. Putting that on the top of the stack, actually. I'm going to move these around. You guys aren't seeing this, but it's kind of like the ones that I'm most interested. Again, the process, people, the process. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to move that down. This one is from the Arrow. They're one of their regional horror sets. Oh, shoot. The American Horror Project Volume 2. It's called The Child. I discovered another one out of that set, so I was like, well, maybe there's something else here. This one sounds interesting. From The Bad Seed to Bloody Birthday, the Killer Kid movie has long been the staple of the horror genre, but they don't come quite as devilish or downright delirious as 1977's The Child, now unleashed on Blu-ray for the first time. Young Alicia Ann arrives at an isolated old farmhouse to look after her new charge, Rosalie, a curious little girl who lives with her equally disturbed and disturbing father and a surprisingly normal brother, but it soon becomes clear that Alicia Ann is going to be the one in need of assistance, as it transpires that little Rosalie wields the uncanny power to raise the decrepit residents of the local graveyard to conduct her wicked bidding. Sounds enjoyable. An ethereal nightmare cut from the same cloth as the likes of Messiah of Evil. Okay, now you're speaking my language. And Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Yep. Yes, please. The Child from director Robert Voskanian and producer Robert Dadashian is a superlative example of dream logic, terror, and essential entry in the American canon of 70s American horror. I misread that, but now I'm thinking Elric might have already seen this and recommended it to me at some point. It's sounding familiar. But yeah, we do love Messiah of Evil and Let's Scare Jessica to Death, so this might go close to the top of the stack too. Brand new 2K restoration, 133 and 178 presentations, audio commentary with the director, Stephen. Oh, cool. Moderated by Stephen Thrower. Stephen Thrower approval. Again, this is going right up at the top of the list there. Okay, another old Code Red. It's called Ladies Stay Dead. This is from 19... yeah. Can't tell. 70s. It looks like 70s to me. It says, girl visits her film star sister only to discover clues to a macabre murder. Over the next 24 hours, she plays a cat and mouse game for her life. A psychopath is on the loose, and no one is there to help her. A terrifying thriller that will chill you to the bone. Code Red presents Lady Stay Dead on Blu-ray for the first time ever. Terry Bork directs Chard Hayward, Deborah Cools, and Roger Ward in this rare slice of 80s Ozploitation. So it's Ozploitation film. Oh yeah, there's the date in Roman numerals, and I'm 81, it looks like. So that's Lady Stay Dead. I don't know. This one, another Code Red that has 2 movies on it. It has Legacy of Satan and Blood. And one of these, is one of these directed by Andy Milligan? I may be wrong, but I don't know. There's some cool looking pictures on the back of this one. This guy's like weird shiny sword has got my attention. So I don't know. Legacy of Satan, seductive witches perform black magic, satanic rituals. What the heck is going on there? In this horrifying tale of sexual murder, calling upon dark evil forces, these sexy priestesses of the devil lure their unsuspecting victims into the fires of a living hell. Cast Lisa Christian, John Francis, Krista Helm, and Ann Paul, and Last House on the Left star Sandra Peabody, director of photography, etc., etc. Code Red mastered this motion picture from the surviving CRI 35mm. Due to high volume of internet complaints, we did not use DNR and kept grain intact. Oh, very nice. Good to hear. And then Blood. Okay, that's a little much. Lawrence and Regina. That's also, these are both from 74. Lawrence and Regina Orlovsky move into a new mansion by the real estate slime Mr. Markham, not knowing they are Dracula and werewolf couple. I'm just reading this off the box, folks. This off-the-wall chiller even throws in a man-eating eggplant. This longer 35mm print surfaced, which marks the official home video debut in the USA. Cult icon Andy Milligan creates another crazy movie that was brought by Lou Perrino to double bill with other films due to the short length. Due to extremely high demand and complaints by kids on the web, this is presented without DNR to fix the scratches and the white dots, and the grain remain intact. I think this is in the Milligan collection from Severin, but I'm definitely not going to go over and get it right now to check. So I may check out that version, but I forgot if that's in there. So anyway, Milligan, I like Milligan. I mean, I'm interested in him, discovering more of his stuff. Okay, this is a recommendation from my friend Brendan Smalls, who Brendan Small has been on the Just the Disc podcast many times. I'm a big fan of him and his taste in films, and he likes this one. And we may have actually even talked about it on the podcast at some point, but I can't remember if I talked about it on the show, on the channel. But Sword of the Valiant with Sean Connery as the Green Knight. I'm digging that mustache, I'll tell you. This one came out from Scorpion. I got it from Ronin Flicks, I believe, a while back. And it says, the challenge has been given, and one man will answer the call. Miles O'Keefe and screen icon Sean Connery lead an impressive cast, including Peter Cushing, Trevor Howard, and John Rhys Davies. Wow, okay. In this epic tale of swords and sorcery that will transport you into realms of the fantastical and make-believe. Shrouded in magic and veiled in mystery, a phantom knight, Connery, thunders into King Arthur's fabled court. Speaking in rhymes and riddles, he goads the king's men into taking a dare. One of them, the young and valiant Sir Gawain O'Keefe, bravely stands to defend the king's honor, but Gawain soon finds himself a pawn in the Phantom Knight's game, a game that will lead him far beyond the kingdom of Camelot and ultimately take his life if he cannot solve his opponent's riddle. Also starring Ronald Lacey and narrated by Peter Firth. It's a magical spectacle that will leave you breathless. Canon Group, Inc. Very interesting. Brendan was on an episode of Pure Cinema we did about fantasy films, and I can't remember if we talked about this briefly on that episode, but I know he likes it. He's definitely one of my go-to guys for fantasy films. So if Brendan likes it, I'm going to have to definitely consider checking this one out. That's why I picked it up in the first place. So Sword of the Valiant looks intriguing. I know there was something about a decapitation he told me about that sounded, I don't know, interesting for sure. This one I probably got because of Elric, because of his love of both Sybil Danning and Wings Hauser, although he may have actually told me it's not very good. For a bounty hunter, a killer's just another paycheck. And this one also from Scorpion. I also got it from Ronin Flicks. Yeah, looking interesting. Sybil and Wings looking interesting here. In this action-packed thriller, cult icon Sybil Danning plays Ruger, an ex-cop turned bounty hunter. Ruger goes after a gang led by Kavanaugh, Wings Hauser, a psychotic artist and drug dealer who killed her partner and kidnapped an LA mayoral candidate. Directed by Worth Keeter, and co-starring Blackie Dammit, Henry Darrow, and Frank Doubleday, and Lenore Kasdorf. Now watch this exciting film in fabulous HD. Yeah, I don't know what to make this. From 1985, that's L.A. Bounty. He looks like a cop on the front. I don't know. But anyway, he's apparently a psychotic artist, video artist at that. He's got his camera and everything. But Wings and Sybil, I don't know. I just feel like there's got to be some magic moment here. Got to be something. That's L.A. Bounty. And then I dug this out of the slasher video group. I wish they were still doing slasher video with Olive Films. They put out some fun stuff like Killer Workout and Deadly Prey, some enjoyable films. This is another one I believe is from a Tape Master. Yeah, Mankillers is presented using the best available elements provided by Slasher Video, not sourced from an HD Master, remastered from PAL Beta SP, and upconverted to Blu-ray and DVD specifications. So yeah, I mean, this is only going to look so good, but this is definitely, I don't know if I remember this cover, but I definitely remember seeing, the sort of sexy lady with guns kind of cover in video stores, and Mankillers is a good title for sure. Let's see here. A female homage to the Dirty Dozen, Mankillers features a ragtag group of bottom feeders, murderers, thieves, and assorted miscreants who, unless they coalesce into a lean, mean fighting machine to stop a rogue agent and the drug cartel that employs him, have the option of a prison cell or the electric chair. It's wall-to-wall action and adventure in Mankillers. Directed by David A. Pryor. Oh, that's great. So he did both Deadly Prey and Killer Workout, among others, including, well, I'll bring that up on another episode, I think. Directed and written by David A. Pryor. Mankillers stars Ed Burns from Sun 77 Sunset Strip, Gail Fisher from Mannix, Edie Williams from The Naked Kiss, Linda Alden from Dr. Detroit, William Zipp from The Deadly Prey, Christine Lund, and Suzanne Tegman. No features, but I don't know. Looks pretty. Is that? Yeah, that's Kooky, I think. Ed Kooky Burns back there. I have no idea. Again, there could be a bonkers factor with this one that might make it interesting. That's why I've hung on to it all these years. And then last, probably an unlikely candidate, but this one is from Signal One Entertainment. So it is a really nice Blu-ray, actually probably the nicest Blu-ray in this whole group in terms of the extras and stuff. This is from 1970, and Signal One, it's a Region B lock disc, if I recall. When the U.S. military accidentally release a noxious substance that causes death from instant old age, everyone over 25 dies, and the youth of America are left to their own devices to invent a new world order. Fresh from bringing the late 60s counterculture explosion to the screen in The Trip, Roger Corman delivers his most ambitious and anarchic take on the Love Generation, a freewheeling blend of acid rock, far-out humor, and psychedelic excess that faithfully captures the revolutionary spirit of its time. I forgot this was two things. I forgot it was Corman, and I forgot George Armitage wrote it. So, I mean, I don't know. I like Armitage. He's a really, really interesting writer and director. So I might be curious about this. Although hippie movies are kind of a tough spot for me. Hippies often, at least the way they're portrayed in films, I often find kind of annoying. They just seem incredibly self-righteous in this way that's just obnoxious to me. Or they're just like stupid space cadets. And that doesn't always entertain. I mean, as a comic relief, I can get behind it a little bit, but I don't know. Anyway, I know this will be a nice version of this, because Signal One does a really good job. And we've got a lot of stuff here. Guardian interview with Corman from 1970, audio only. Archival interview conducted at the NFT the day after work was completed on Gas. The Guardian interview with Corman, 1991, audio only. Legendary director returns to the NFT. Counterculture Corman, 2015, new documentary featuring interviews with Corman, Ted Newsom, and Chris Poggiali. Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of good features on here. So I don't know. So that's my last from this group of consideration. I've got a whole other pile to go through that I'm trying to pull things out of, and it's just like, you just got to kind of figure out what you're in the mood to watch. So the more options I have, like if I say, I'm in the mood to watch a classic movie, here's the classic films group that I want to discover from. This is the random stuff, mostly horror and action stuff. It helps me break it down a little bit. Who knows if we'll find anything in there, but let me know if random stuff is something you guys like to see me talk about. I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. Sorry for the, goofiness of this one. But a lot of movies I haven't really heard too much about. So maybe there's something in here you guys haven't heard too much about. Maybe there's something in here that you might want to watch. I don't know. But I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.